First of all, I congratulate you all, the students from Delhi, students from Uttar Pradesh, students from Bihar, has come to Delhi in order to realize his potential into actual and compete in IAS examination, civil services examination. We are discussing here synthesis of neoclassical IS and LA. We all know that Alfred Marshall dominated neoclassical school from 1890 to 1925. After the retirement of Marshall, A.C. Pigou became the HOD in Cambridge University, and next junior to A.C. Pigou was J.M. Keynes. Marshall's book Principles of Economics was popular. Parallel to that, A.C. Pigou published Principles of Welfare Economics, and it has occupied attention. You will be surprised to note that even today, A.C. Pigouian method is used in environmental economics. A.C. Pigou proposed pollution tax for the welfare of the society. A.C. Pigou is the first economist who has documented and written theory of unemployment. Before him, there was no theory of unemployment. If you read J.M. Keynes' book, in the first page, in the footnote, J.M. Keynes has written that I treat A.C. Pigou as the classical theory of unemployment. Classical theory of unemployment, or inverted classical theory of employment. Unemployment is removed, then employment will come. The first written documentation, written book, first book, systematic book on unemployment was written by A.C. Pigou, that was cited by J.M. Keynes in his book, in first page, footnote. J.M. Keynes said that my book is general theory of employment, but A.C. Pigou book is theory of unemployment. Which is positive, unemployment or employment? So my submission to the economics, that theory of employment, general theory of employment, interest and money, he has written. And he was treated as great economist, international economist, by the publication of this book. Because in this book, whatever he has suggested, as a doctor of economics, as a doctor, what does doctor do?
Solve problem of economics.
First diagnose, है ना? पहले डायग्नोज करेगा कि बाहर है कि अंडा है कि दोनों है ना? माँ बाप दोनों अंधा, अब बच्चा हुआ उसको, तो दोनों को संजीव कुमार उसमें एज आई रिकॉल, संजीव कुमार एंड अमिताभ बच्चन की वाइफ है क्या ना, जया बच्चन, हमको ऐसा याद आ रहा कि जया बच्चन और ये संजीव कुमार, ये दोनों गूंगा और बहरा अंधा के पत्र है, अंधा डिसाइड किया था, अंधा गूंगा बहरा क्या था। अब देखिएगा, इसको गूगल में डाल के पूछिएगा। और इसका लड़का जो है जब पैदा हुआ तो मान लीजिए कोई चीज बजा के देखता था कि सुनता है कि नहीं, तो ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि तो अपने सुन नहीं रहा है। हाउ कैन ही हिमसेल्फ टेस्ट दैट whether his son is deaf and dumb or not? किलकारी मारने मार रहा है तो डम नहीं है, सुन रहा है। तो बड़ा मार्मिक सीन है कि कैसे एक अंधा और एक बहरा, एक गूंगा आदमी तड़पता है इस दुनिया में, फिर भी वो जीवित रहता है, बहुत सारे अच्छे से काम को करता है। आजकल उन लोगों को क्या कहा जाता है?
डिफरेंटली एबल,
डिफरेंटली
एबल,
एबल।
दिव्यांग सर,
और वो फिजिकली अनफिट ये सब शब्द नहीं बोला जाता है। डिफरेंटली
एबल,
डिफरेंटली एबल, एबल है लेकिन डिफरेंटली है।
डिफरेंट डायरेक्टर।
तो कहता है कि इन द इकोनॉमी A.C. Pigou book, first thing Jenkins had done well, that he has highlighted his HOD, Cambridge University head, that he has written first book, Theory of Unemployment. And then criticized that this theory is full of wrong conclusions, which we will discuss at the appropriate time and place. Jenkins was very happy for his book, The General Theory of Employment Test and Money, published in 1936. But you all know that in 1937, J.R. Hicks criticized LM concept given by Jenkins. And he also criticized I equal to S concept given by Alfred Marshall. And surprisingly, J.R. Hicks was considered as the winner of Nobel Prize in Economics. Although his indifference curve was challenged by Paul Samuelson, and Hicks himself abandoned indifference curve. And Hicks said that indifference curve is his greatest blunder of his life, academic life. Hicks said indifference curve is greatest blunder of his academic life. So he himself abandoned indifference. He has written a book, A Revision of Demand Theory. And in that book he has cited 28 diagrams, but nowhere indifference. And he proved the same thing, law of demand. He proved the same thing, price effect, substitution effect, consumer's behavior. But he left the old technique of indifference curve and adopted new technique, logic of order. Logic of order. Direct consistency test. He tested all variables, consumer's behavior on a direct consistency test. Whether his behavior is consistent or not. If it is not consistent, then reject it. If it is consistent, then accept it. And then he targeted Jenkins. And he said that Jenkins, L is equal to M, only with the help of interest rate, is indeterminate. There is a missing factor income in the analysis of L equal to M by James James. Just after 1 year, 1936 and 1937. But we could not know because Google was not there at that time. People know that Keynes, Lord Keynes, Keynes was awarded Lord Keynes, and he was awarded the international prestige of economist by Roosevelt, President of USA. Roosevelt requested him to come and participate in 1945 Bretton Woods Conference, Bretton Woods Economics and Financial Conference held at New Hampshire, eastern coast of USA, and at the place Bretton Woods. Bretton Woods is a place. New Hampshire is a state situated in
Eastern Coast.
eastern coast, east side. And from America, Harry Dexter White. From America represented economist Harry
Dexter White.
Dexter Harry White. Dexter Harry White. Some of the propositions of White was rejected by Keynes, and some of the proposition of Keynes was rejected by White. And by discussion, then finally they became ready to establish IMF and IBRD for the world nations as a method of payment, as a method of loan, as a method of supply of foreign currency to different countries of the world, as a method of correction of balance of payment to the member country, because there was breakdown of gold standard. In the Second World War and in the First World War, many countries left gold standard. We all know that in the international trading, there is a problem of balance of payment. If your export is greater, there will be inflow. If your import is greater, then there will be outflow of foreign currency. If you don't have foreign currency, then outflow of the gold. Because dollar is considered to be gold. On the dollar it is written, the dollar is convertible into gold. So every country considered, if they have dollar in their pocket, they feel that I have gold in the pocket. But this was the politics of USA. From 1945 to 1973, this conception was withheld that I have dollar because I have gold. But in 1973, people of the world realized that large amount of dollar was printed by USA and spent in different countries of the world to buy anything. Even to buy dollar, but to buy gold. They give you dollar and take gold. Dollar is a paper currency and gold is actual. In that way, large amount of gold is inflow in the US. You can check in the Google. At present, I think 16,000 ton gold in USA, and in India 550 ton gold as a reserve, gold reserve, official declaration. Check it. Check that what is the gold position in the USA? How many tons? 16,000 plus tons gold. Ask by boys what is the gold position, gold reserve in USA.
What is the gold position USA?
gold reserve. So USA was clever enough to make dollar international currency in 1945 in Bretton Woods Conference. It was written in the dollar. The dollar is convertible into gold. But there was printing of large volume of supply of money. Dollar was, and we all know that USA is always involved in external affairs like Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Cambodia, Israel, Syria, and a spending of dollar was done. So amount of dollar outside USA was quite enough to buy all gold stocks of 8,000 or 9,000 metric ton gold at a time. But it was thought by the people outside USA to combine and do this thing. But artificial intelligence in USA is very, very high. In the night, President of USA declared
Nixon.
that Nixon declared in 1973 that dollar is not convertible into gold. Dollar is convertible into dollar. अगर आपका डॉलर फटा हुआ है तो ले जाइए नया डॉलर ले लीजिए. But dollar is not convertible into gold. Number one, Nixon declared that America, USA, break from Bretton Woods system. Bretton Woods system adopted fixed exchange rate all over the world. America, USA say that world will be thrown to the floating exchange rate, not the fixed exchange rate. Floating exchange rate will be determined by the demand and supply of dollar. So two important events were recorded in 1973. There was dollar crisis. President was Nixon. And what is dollar crisis? The dollar outside, dollar, paper dollar outside can buy all dollar from the US economy. Such a huge printing of dollar. And that was due to this fact, dollar crisis. USA declared that dollar is not convertible to gold. There is breakdown of Bretton Woods system. When America withdraw, every country withdraw. If you are asked in the UPSC examination interview or BPSC examination interview, what is Bretton Woods system? They will tell the Bretton Woods system started in 1945 to 1973.
Gold is convertible to dollar.
Dollar is convertible into gold. That was written.
Fixed exchange.
And gold price is fixed in dollar. Wherever gold is produced, its price is fixed in terms of dollar. And currency of different country will be fixed by the value of dollar. Dollar became international currency. And there was fixed exchange rate. In 1947, the exchange rate in India, $1 is equal to 1 rupee. In 1973, $1 is equal to 10 rupees. In 1975, $1 is equal to 15 rupees. And today, $1 is equal to 70 rupees. So the value of Indian currency is gradually declining. There is a declining trend. because of the continuous exchange depreciation through the market mechanism. Depreciation can be done by devaluation by the government, but this is not done, not by the devaluation. It is through the market mechanism. Role of central bank is very important in case of market mechanism. Reserve Bank can buy dollar and sell rupee, or Reserve Bank can buy rupee and give dollar. Such type of things can be done by central bank earlier. So, coming to our the main question, that interest rate determination by L is equal to M was rejected. By JR
It's
and I equal to S
also rejected.
was also rejected by JRX. We have already examined this thing in the previous lecture, previous class. In this class, we synthesize synthesis. Synthesis of I equal to S and L is equal to M. And integrated theory of interest rate determination. According to J.R. Hicks and Alvin Hansen, this is L is equal to M curve. This is I is equal to S curve. At this point, I is equal to S is equal to L is equal to M. This is income. This is interest rate. What is synthesis? I is a function of R, S is a function of R. That was the neoclassical. Neoclassical Alfred Marshall said that this is I and this is S. Both are function of R only, and this is equilibrium interest rate. I is equal to S, equilibrium interest rate. This is neoclassical. Alfred Marshall is the leader of neoclassical. J.R. Hicks considers Jenkins is also of that class, because in your UPSC syllabus, neoclassical term used for both IS and LM. And then L is a function of R and M is a function of R. J.R. Hicks showed that this L is equal to M. L is equal to M will give equilibrium interest rate. Equilibrium interest rate will give equilibrium interest rate. This is also function of, this is also function of. J.R. Hicks rejected both neoclassical theory of interest rate determination and developed I is a function of y and r, S is a function of y and r, L is a function of y and r, M is a function of y and r. And said that this is IS curve. IS curve will shift and will become IS. I equal to S become IS dash. And this is L equal to M. Interest rate is R. Interest is R1. Income is Y1. Income is Y2. We all know that in economics, this is output, and this output may be written as Q1, Q2. This is output. This is income. When output increases, this will be known as GDP. Growth. So this income concept and interest rate equilibrium, first equilibrium is at E, second equilibrium at F. LM is constant and IS has increased because of fiscal policy, because of fiscal activism. Fiscal activism. What is fiscal activism? Public expenditure.
Interest rate is
Public expenditure. Subsidy. And this IS curve will change to IS dash. Whatever I speak, that becomes language for your pariksha. In examination, you are writing, just open the video and listen to what I say. Because you fail to write. What I want that whatever I speak, you also write down.
No, I was trying to understand what you're trying to do.
First you understand it, then you must put it down, write it down. That saving and investment theory was rejected because income was not there. Equity preference theory was rejected because income was not there on it. By synthesis, he has given IS and LM intersection at point E, and that becomes equilibrium. This is known as equilibrium. This is known as equilibrium interest rate. And this is known as equilibrium income. Write down all these things you write down just now. What's your? In this diagram, LM and IS intersection is at point E. This is first point. And at point F, there is increase and there is shift in IS curve. This shift in IS curve in macroeconomics is known as effect of fiscal policy, effect of fiscal activism, effect of fall in taxation and increase in government expenditure. If there is fall in taxation, investment will rise. If there is tax holiday, investment will rise. If there is tax holiday, then investors will be boosted up. If there is subsidy given to the investors. So all these are known as fiscal activism. IS curve shifted to IS dash because of fiscal activism. James Keynes was also supporter of fiscal policy, and he thought that when private investment is below the full employment level, if there is a depression in the economy, then the fate of the country should not be put in the hands of private enterprise. There should be a state interference. Then the end of laissez-faire. James Keynes forecasted. In 1926, James Keynes has written a book, End of, what is the name of the book? End of laissez-faire. 1926. And in 1929, end of laissez-faire forecast became true. That in 1929 there was Great Depression in USA from 1929 to 1932. That has spread to USA, that has spread to UK, that has spread to Germany and all capitalist countries. 160 lakh people were returned from the job in USA, 60 lakh returned from job in UK, 60 lakhs in Germany and 30 lakhs in UK. Such a widespread cyclical unemployment has spread in different capitalist countries of the world. Then J.R. Hicks considered its importance, fiscal policy. J.R. Hicks also showed that IS curve shifted upward because of
Fiscal expansion.
fiscal
Expansion activism.
activism. Fiscal activism may be increase in government expenditure,
Tax.
huge amount of government expenditure. That is direct attack of the problem. Then private investors may be encouraged by tax holiday, decrease in the tax rate, tax holiday. But J.R. Hicks says the direct government expenditure is the best method to boost economy through the fiscal activism. And then this is called movement from E to F. And that is increase in interest rate, but increase in investment and increase in economic growth. This last diagram shows that by IS7 there will be increasing interest rate, but increase in national income and increase in economic growth will be noticed. This is most important conclusion in a macro equilibrium, that through government interference, through fiscal activism, through government expenditure, through tax concession, through tax holiday, there is a possibility of increasing income and increase in GDP, even then the interest rate is higher. Now take the photograph of the diagram, it will be removed and new diagram will be drawn.
Sir, there was a income increase of Y1 to Y2. That is the real income increase or nominal income increase?
This is nominal income.
Nominal.
Because nominal income divided by price
Yes, sir.
is a real income. So whenever you explain in the nominal income, but then if you want to convert it, then you take the Y by P. Y by
P.
P.
The nominal.
The
Real income.
Real income. But income increases. Income increases. If you convert nominal income into real income,
Yeah.
there may be slight variation in the data. provided there is no inflation,
Yes, sir.
no depression. In normal case, slight variation will be noticed.
So here is the income increases, now real income increase or not? Someone asked me, your
Income increase.
real, I'm talking about real income.
Real income is not explained here. Here income is explained. Income has increased. Then you ask him that what was the price level. Assuming price level constant, real income increase. You explain in that way
Yeah.
the assumption
Yeah.
that there is assumption of constant price level.
Then real income will increase.
The real income will increase. Price variation will be most important factor.
Yes, sir.
So when there is increase in income, increase in investment, price will also rise.
Yeah, that-
There is a slight rise. It may not rise fastly, but there will be a rise. Investors are interested in profit. As the government is investing,
Yes, sir.
government is not investing for profit motive. Therefore, there will not be effect upon real income. Real income will not be depreciated. Because private investors will increase investment only for profit. And if profit increases, then price will rise. But here we are talking about
Fiscal expansion.
fiscal expansion, that will government expenditure. Government is interested in boost up the economy by increasing production. Investment is done not for profit motive. Therefore, price neutrality may be assumed. That price may be neutral in this process. Or if slight variation, that is not so worthwhile to quote. Income will increase and production has increased.
Yes, sir.
Both are the proof that there is a increase in GDP. GDP may be deflated. GDP deflator is what? Inflation.
Yes, sir.
So you just examine, checking the other data, that what will happen. But as the major thing is done by government, so there will be increase in real income also.
Also, and also output.
It is expected that real income also increase. Which government is not interested in profit increment. If profit is not increased, the price level will be there. Price level will be
Almost constant.
almost constant. Then the next effect, here there is effect upon IS. But LM is constant. LM is
Constant.
constant. LM is constant. Only so after synthesis of ISLM, we have seen that IS shifted. That means fiscal activism. Now the second case. Second case, look here. This is IS curve and this is LM curve. And now this is LM curve. This is central banking. Central bank. Monetary policy. And monetary management. And monetary management. LM increases to LM dash. Look here, E point is original point where interest rate is OR and national income is Y1. R1 and Y1. Now, IS is as it is. What will happen?